Daily Zohar. The Zohar talks about, we're continuing with the Zohar in regards to Shabbat. So when the Kedusha spreads out, when the holiness spreads out, and there is additional, remember last week we were talking about the additional Kedusha, and then the brachot come from above to that central point, that nekudah, that central point of the week, which the bracha, remember again we're talking about that coil, that center point. Everything lights up, that kedusha and that bracha that comes because of the kedusha lights up everything. That's a very important concept to remember. In order to really be able to draw down the bracha, the blessing, you need to have kedusha. And kedusha, if you look at the word kadosh, kuf, daled, vav, shin, kadosh. If you change the order of the letter, it will be shoked. Shoked means to persevere, to work hard on. Kedusha will be hashoked. He who perseveres, he who works hard. That's why also we need to work hard Erev Shabbat. Mi shetarach be'erev Shabbat, yochal be'Shabbat. He who worked hard on Shabbat night, or before Shabbat is on Friday, will have food on Shabbat. If you want to have any kind of fruit, any kind of blessing through growth, you have to put the seed. Before you have to put the seed, you have to plow, you have to clear it, you have to do 100 different million things. You have to, blade the soil, to air the seeds out, to give some, and so on. Kedusha is not going to come just because you filled the 6 numbers in the lottery. Even that needs an effort. In order to receive Kedusha, holiness, you need to work hard and to be consistent in that. In other words, a non-stop effort. It's not that you say, I became enlightened, I became holy, that's it, next. Check mark on that, I'm kadosh now. No. Kedusha, it's something that needs maintenance and perseverance all the time. All the time. It's like a silver cup that if you leave it untouched, it'll be tarnished. It needs to be cleaned all the time. So is here for us. You need to work on Shabbat. Why? To understand that, in order to celebrate Shabbat appropriately, to have the food and so on and so forth, you need to prepare beforehand. The Kedusha on Shabbat also needs preparation. The Kedusha of the person himself, needs to work on himself all the time. And the higher you go in Kedusha, the more you'll need to work on yourself. Because now it's you're talking about splitting hair. And it becomes even finer than that. Almost like splitting an atom. This is how fine-tuning for a person who goes higher and higher in the level of holiness. Every little thing, every grain of impurity, it's a do or die. So you have to be careful. Not OCD to the point of lack of ability or mobility, but great awareness. And that's what's very important. And it's almost a theme that we're talking all the time. Awareness of where you're at. And that's what I keep telling you, and I told you yesterday, you cannot be holy if you are sedated. Can't. It's nothing you can do. So when the Kedusha comes after you did some work, now the bracha is able to come in. So in a way, the kedusha is the receptacle for the bracha, because the bracha needs to be held something. If you are thirsty and I'm giving you water to drink, you need something to hold the water. So what's the kli for the bracha? The kli for the bracha is kedusha. Because if you see though other so-called what you call success, it's not necessarily a bracha. Because our definition of success is quite distorted. A successful person, according to us, to Judaism, is a person who was able to become selfless and become closer to God. Moshe Rabbeinu is a success story. Moshe Rabbeinu, we're not talking about money. We had this issue with money. That was Korach. According to Judaism, he is not a success story. Now what do you want to be? You want to be Korach? Or you want to be Moshe Rabbeinu? You have all the money in the world, a lot of money. But Judaism tell you this is not success. So when you tell me I would like to become successful, I will ask you, what exactly do you mean? Well, if you tell me, well, the world defines success as this, I said, well, very nice. But that's not the Jewish definition of a success story. I read one time, I was taking a course in multiculturalism counseling, and it made me think. I said, wow, that's such a musar for me. It was such a rebuke that made me realize what I didn't want to realize. I read this article about this Native American from Arizona who was making a high six-figure salary. I mean, he was making a lot of money. His father was a shaman, a medicine man. That probably in his whole entire life did not make what his son makes in a month. In his people's eyes, the son, what we would call a success story, was a failure. Because he betrayed everything that was important to them. The heritage, the culture, whatever there would be. In the eyes of the tribesmen, his people, the father, who was what we call dirt poor, was a success story. You have to understand, it is very difficult and near impossible to be both rich in spirituality and rich in money. It's near impossible. That's the laws of nature. Because if you have no choice, I want you to make a decision. I want you to choose. What do you want? Do you want this or you want that? And yes, you do have to choose. Because if you don't choose, somebody else will choose for you. And then you have no choice. So think very carefully, what is it that you want? Think very carefully, what do you call a success? Because your bracha would be dependent on your kedusha, how holy you became. It's something fundamental. If you would realize that, it would save you from a lot of a hassle that comes to all of us from this dissidence inside of us, this internal conflict inside of us. If you have two sides pulling the string in the middle, and you're going to be ripped into pieces, you say, guys, excuse me 1 second. You take your samurai sword, You cut the string and say, okay, now you can pull whichever you want. I'm out of here. I'm not playing this game. I know what I want, and I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there. So many times what you call bracha, it's not a bracha. Because definition of bracha, the bracha, true blessing will come only when there is kedusha. Only when there is holiness, that's bracha. What you see is not bracha. Or as they say, what you see is not what you get. Don't confuse it. Because of this confusion, because of this lack of understanding, you chaos in your mind, you're disturbing your internal peace, and then you're not going to have bracha. Again, the receptacle for bracha is kedusha. And so after this light came down through the kedusha and the bracha, only then muar hakol, everything lights v'naset ruach hameir michol hatzadim, and that ruach, spirit, shines and lights from all sides. חציה מתחלק למעלה ומאיר, וחציה מתחלק למטה ומאיר. It shines on both heavens. I mean both worlds, here and there. וזה שכתוב, and that's what it is. אות היא ביני ובין בני ישראל. In other words, we share this light, the light of Shabbat, the light of the Kedusha of Shabbat that spreads out. It's being shared in Beini, in the spiritual world, uben bnei Israel, in this land. Chelek v'nachala yesh lanu yachad. We have a part and a portion together. We share this property together. There is another property that we share together. Eretz Israel and Har HaBayit, the Temple Mount. I was very sad yesterday. Very, very sad. Not only was I sad, I was disgusted. I don't know exactly who made this poll and what was the reason for this poll. I don't believe in polls, but the idea behind it. In Israel, they had a poll that 59% of Israelis consider the wall holier and more important than the Temple Mount, and about the same percentage would be willing to give the Temple Mount for peace, so-called. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I'll tell you why is it dangerous. We need to make sure and to have our sights on the right target, not to turn the wall, and what I'm telling you, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of heat for it, but I don't care. We need to make sure not to turn the wall into an idol worshiping. We don't pray to the wall, we pray to God. And Har HaBayit is a portion that we share with HaKadosh Baruch Hu together. We maintain the place, He dwells into this place. It's not us to give. And it says, Am Yisrael gave up on the Har HaBayit. And I saw that somebody says, it's not Am Yisrael. It's not the nation of Israel. It's the Israelis. What else are we going to give up? Again, all these things always come up on the weeks of Tisha B'Av, on the 9 days. I just don't understand that. So therefore, Chelek Shel Mala, the part that goes up, Mitater Bayom Ha'u Me'oneg Ha'elyon HaKadosh. The crown of that light that shines on the spiritual world from the superior heavenly pleasure that is out just by the existence of this light, the satisfaction that this light came out to this world. V'nehena miziva elyon, and he is enjoying from the splendor of what is called Atika de Kol Atikin, the ancient of all ancients. It refers to a certain level or attributes of the Holy One. Atika Kadisha, Atika de Kol Kadishin, Kadisha de Kol Kadishin, the Holy of all holies, right? Achelek HaTachton, the portion that comes down, Mitater bayom ha'u mi'oneg shel mata, is crowned from the oneg, from the pleasure that exists in this world here. And what is it? Nehena mi'elu ha'seudot she'osim Israel. Am Israel, I love Am Israel. I love Shabbat. Am Israel make the seudot. They don't make the seudah for themselves. They make the seudah shel Shabbat. I told you, even in Israel, at least when I grew up, secular people, before they went to the discotheques and to the bars and to this, they had to have seudah shel Shabbat. This is ridiculous. So even with that, by the oneg of the seudot that the people, that the Jews make in honor of Shabbat, that's one of the oneg. B'ma'achal. That's why we need to me'aneg the Shabbat. We have to make food. And not only you have to make food, you have to make special food. I told you many times, my kids tell me, Abba, you make so much food. I love to cook. So I say, I know, but we don't eat it. It's okay, it's not for you, it's for Shabbat. I don't just like to look at the table full of food. Okay, I'm not going to eat all, believe me. Sometimes if I'm not eating all day long, I get a heartburn, so I can't eat so much. So I just like to look at the table like this. It's the honor of Shabbat. By us, by the Sfaradim, we used to say, is honor the Shabbat. Honor the Shabbat. Zekavot shel Shabbat. Honor of Shabbat. To set the table like this, the setting of the table with the plates and this whole, it's called honor the Shabbat. If the table was empty, no es honor the Shabbat. It's not the kavod Shabbat. So you set it like this. Nice table. Tablecloth. Food. Plates. Don't make yourself omelets and cheese and smear some. It's not Shabbat. Do this Sunday morning. Do this melaveh malka. Make which is also important. Shabbat. Make something good. That's why we eat the fish and we eat the chicken or the meat and so on and so forth. I don't like meat. I don't eat so much meat. Don't like meat. Give me a good, healthy lettuce salad over a steak. I'll take it in any given day. I just love salads. I love vegetables. Doesn't look like it, but I do love vegetables. But lichvot Shabbat, I'll eat chicken or I'll eat meat. And I'll tell you the truth. I don't find it pleasurable to swallow it. But Shabbat, I eat it. It's different. Shabbat, I like it. Give me the same meat during the week. No big deal. It's like, all right, can I get some salad now? But Shabbat is different. I'll make you the same food that I make on Shabbat. I'll make it during the day. It does not taste the same. There's a special spice in it. It's called Shabbat. The same smell, the same food does not smell the same. It smells different on Shabbat. So that's the oneg. Sometimes we used to laugh about it. When you wake up in the morning, Shabbat morning, or when you walk in the street and you smell a smell of the chamin that is cooking all night long, and to make a chamin is an art. We used to say, this is like the Ktoret, like the incense. And there is a sense of truth to that. Not that we are bringing Ktoret, but that smell of Kavod Shabbat, that many times during the Spanish Inquisition, they used to go by the smell. They say, the Jews there, let's go ahead. Yeah. People say, Kavod Shabbat. So the oneg of Shabbat is the food, the drinks. You drink some wine on Shabbat, have a little bourbon, a little bit more bourbon, it's fine. Levushe kavod, you have to dress up. Don't come to the Shabbat table looking like a shloop, with flip-flops and, don't do that. Just something nice. Get yourself a nice silk shirt, something, jalabia, something that will be Shabbat. Don't come with your sweatpants and that's just not kavod Shabbat. So then it goes up together with the simcha, with the joy of the simcha, and then that portion that is down here connects with the other part on Shamayim, because now there's simcha and simcha, and this is how it includes and wraps up all the sides. Each one will give koach to each other, power to each other, and will give us a lot of support to overcome. And there's tremendous secrets about that, about how the hashpa'ah from here, we need to complete that perfect influence from that there is in Shamayim, that light, by our actions here, and then we create a harmony. That brings us a lot of abilities to control the Yetzer Hara, to see what's important. Lucky are those who keep Shabbat. That's what the Zohar says about it today. So I wish that we will all be able to keep Shabbat k'ilchata, for our merit and for the merit of Am Yisrael. Amen.